So, you probably found this video because you just got some green spotted puffers from your local fish store, or your green spotted puffers ain't doing so good no matter how much you medicate them. They still got white spots, fungus, and so on. So let me know in the comment section which reason you here to watch this video. But let's just jump into it. These is baby green spotted puffers. They come from the local fish store. You probably got yours the same price. They are sold as freshwater fish. Well, technically they are blackwater fish, and they are caught out of blackish water. Sometimes, you know, it's very light blackish water, but it's still blackish water. Well, if your little fish was caught and it's already used to the salinity of the blackish water, when you get them at the pet store, they're going to be sickly. They're going to be stressed, they're going to have fungus, and they're going to have white spots. Now, the best way to cure that, if you dose them with ICX, you know, and it still ain't happened, ICX works good with puffers. Lapicure, I have seen, you know, other treatments kill puffers. So you got to be careful what you medicate with puffer fish. That's a whole different topic for another video. But I use ICX on my puffers. I use General Cure, and I use PosiPro. That's the three medications I usually use in my quarantines. Help get rid of parasites and treat. But the most thing you can do for your puffer if it is sick is get you some marine salt. I use Instant Ocean. It dissolves very quick. And probably within a few hours you will notice the fungus dying out. You probably notice the ick basically dying out. Because the stress, it just helps them get on stress. And the marine salt is like a natural, you know, treatment. So it's a win-win. If your puffer's sick and you ain't got it in salt water, it's still in fresh water, go straight. Make your salinity level like I got, and add them to it. Now, some people drip accumate them. Honestly, I don't do that. I always had luck is getting the tank that I got set up for salt and transition them to fresh is just basically just dump them over. I've had luck with that. To each their own. Drip accumation is more safe, but I always just, these come straight from fresh water. I took and threw them in a salinity level that you're about to see. I didn't accumate them or nothing. Tanks are, the water was the same temperature though, because temperature can shock a fish if you take it from one temp to another one too fast. That's the main thing. Salinity level, it's up in the air on that. Temperature is what you need to worry about. So let's do a water change on these little guys. Show you how I mix my salinity level. On a side note, this is just for baby green spotted puffers. Older puffers needs a little bit more salinity level, not much more, just a little bit to be happy. Now a juvenile will probably be happy in their salinity too, but you know, it depends on how you care for your puffer fish, and each puffer fish is different. These seem to be doing fine here. So let's get started on the water change, and hopefully you find this video helpful. And if you did, comment, drop a like. More people find this information. There ain't much on the green spotted puffers. I enjoy fish keeping, and I'm sure you do too. So let's get started. This is the green spotted puffers. They are 5 here, and they have pretty well got used to me messing with the tank. But what I'm going to be doing is a water change. That's why I'm going to show you this. The salinity level I keep these at, and they differ. These you can check with. I prefer the grass right here. It's just easier than the one that you scoop water in and watch it float. These just bounce around, kind of like a fishing bobber. So let's just stick him in here. It's on 1.008. That's what I keep these at. So depending on your tank, some people use like 55-gallon drums. Some people mix the salt in 5-gallon buckets. These are just like 1.5 gallon, 2-gallon buckets. I got 2 buckets here because the water change I'm doing on that 10-gallon is going to be about 30% because they are still getting medicated. So what we're going to do is drain and suction cup the bottom out, get the dead snails and the half clams and everything out of the tank, take a full thing of this out of the old tank, basically old tank water, squeeze the filters out in it, clean the tank, set it to the side, and use the other bucket to mix a fresh salt water in. Now, if you just topping your tank off, you don't mix salt, you just add water because salt don't evaporate. But the salt I'm using today is the oceans. And now, marine salt, you know, this is a bag of salt here. It's basically for 50 gallons. This goes a long way in a Blackish tank. 50 gallons of salt goes very good. I got a little painter's cup here. You can use mixing cups, but start small, as salt as you need it. Especially Blackish, you will pretty well have to add a little at a time, and it's best to add a little bit and then keep adding and mixing it, then adding it all at once. But you can see I got 2 ounces here, pretty much 2 ounces of salt. I'm pouring it in here, just like so, and I'm going to mix some water in it. And the salt I'm using is the ocean. You need to make sure it's a marine salt and not aquarium salt. Your puffers will not survive in aquarium salt. You need marine salt. Don't matter what brand marine sea salt you use, as long as it's marine salt. So that's 1 gallon. Let's add a 2nd gallon. And if you're doing this, you want to make sure your water is treated for chlorine and stuff. My water actually got an RO system on it, and it's well water. It is pretty good for salt water. I mean, it does got a little bit of nitrates in it, but the RO system does take it out pretty good. Basically, that's 2 gallons, so almost up to the top. Now, if you got a 5-gallon bucket, you could count your gallons. But we got 2 ounces of salt. So I just use a paddle here. It looks pretty good. Let's get down here, and you want to stir that up extremely good. Mix it up. You can let the salt set for hours and dissolve and stuff, but I found just mixing it like this, marine salt, especially the ocean, just mixes so easy and dissolves. So we stir this for a few minutes, and then we let it set for about a few more minutes, and then we check what salinity is. We want a 1.008. That's what we're going for. And as I said, if you're mixing salt for any other fish, you need to make sure what salinity you need it. First time mixing it, start small, write down everything, as much salt as you use to each gallon you use. So later on, you can get you something bigger and mix it in, and you know exactly what you need, and you won't have to guess as much. That's my best tip for this. Mixing the salt is different from for each person in each tank. Everybody got their own way to do it. So I got this. If you're using the other one you just dip in, you want to make sure that it floats to basically 1.008. It should be right there. See, it's 1.8. That's 10. So about right in 1.0010 won't hurt them neither, but you don't want to get that wrong. So let's just see what we got with 2 ounces. If you can get a good look at this, if this water will quit spinning, it's actually at 1.010 right here. And I still got a little bit of water left. When I mix this water in here, this should drop it to 1.008. So that's pretty close. I might mix a little bit more in 2 ounces, but always double check. If you mix too much salt, gotta add more water, to dilute it and all that stuff. But once you get the hang of it, it'll be easy done. Now let's go over and clean the puffer tank so this can get to room temperature, which it should already be, because I usually keep these just sitting around for salt water. So what I'm going to do now is take a little bitty net here and get all these dead snails out. I try to keep the snails cleaned up best I can, because it can make the tank spike, especially with ammonia and nitrates. Look at all the dead snails. Oh, what I was saying is, this being a quarantine tank, it has a very good chance of spiking easy because it ain't fully established. Because this whole tank here was used to be freshwater, and I converted it. And freshwater bacteria will die off as saltwater blackish bacteria starts. But it's been doing fine. Just keep up with your water changes and stuff. And these little puffers is chasing everything. Yeah, I need to get this snail. You guys, all your dead snails out. Now you can use a turkey baster on smaller snails. Sometimes the bigger snails you can just whisk out pretty easy with a turkey baster and get all the little crumbs. But I'm going to do a vacuum on this for the first time in this tank. Get the little puffers. They're so happy. Very happy to see them in the shape. They was in rough shape when I first got them. You can tell this little guy here is hiding in the corner. Yeah, we might put him right here. We might put him into another tank because all these healthy ones is picking on him. So, it'd be something simple to do. We'll get that here in just a few moments because we don't want nothing to happen to him. We can prevent it. I was hoping he'd get some weight on him before the other ones got healthier and then just picked at him. But that's what these other tanks is for here. Simple quarantine tanks. So I got a little bit of water on the front of the grass here. We'll clean it off here soon. But all in all, the water change went great. That's how you mix your water. You add a little bit of salt. If you add too much salt, you just gotta add more water. You need to check your salinity constant till you get used to how to mix it. And you don't need to rush the process if you don't know how quickly the salt you use dissolves. You need to let it set at least a couple hours. Stir it up ever so often and check your salinity, because last thing you need to do is add too much salinity and add it too soon to your tank, and then it just climbs higher. So always make sure that Instant Ocean that you sing in the video, it dissolves very quickly. And the little puffers are happy. I did remove the little guy. I actually set him up another little quarantine tank right down there. I add him to the 20 long once these guys get moved to a 20 long. And then once they get a little bit more size to them, we'll move them to a 55 gallon. But he is not going back with these little green spotted puffers till he gets some size, because, well, he's so small and weak, basically, they just picking on him and they will kill him. That's the way fish is. Injured fish in a community tank. Even though it's in a community tank, but the injured fish gets picked on. That's just the way it goes. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video on mixing your salt. What are you doing, You saying hi to everybody? And if you found it helpful, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, enjoy hearing from somebody. Blackish tanks ain't nothing to be scared of. Very simple setup. They're not as expensive as salt tanks. If you do get some evaporation, just top it off. You do not have to add more salt to your tank unless you do a water change. So, depending on your filtration, depending how you feed, depending on your maintenance, will depend how often you have to do your water changes. There ain't many live plants that survives in blackish water. There are some that you can, depending on how strong the salinity is. And depending on what fish you keep. But all in all, I'm very happy. These is fake plants, by the way, from the Dollar General store. I bet that little log, that's from Walmart's. But all in all, I'm very happy with these green spotted puffers. If you want to see more videos of them, maybe a feeding and stuff of them, let me know in the comment section. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching, and hopefully this video was helpful.